Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Wednesday. Here with me today is Tim Allomong of Allomong and Associates. First of all, Tim, thanks for joining me.
Sure, thank you, Jeff.
Absolutely. Tim, he represents both buyers and sellers in their real estate transactions here in New York City. And let's jump right into it. Right now, we know we're in a buyer's market. The market is spoken, that's where we are. And for me, I'm finding that a lot of buyers are starting to come off the fence and put more offers in and be a little bit assertive. Tim, what are you finding right now with the buyers that you're representing?
I think that's absolutely right. I think buyers are more assertive right now. They're coming to the negotiation table, the closing table with more energy. They're less timid. They're coming with more creativeness in their offers.
Okay.
And a lot of buyers are asking for things in the contract that normally buyers in the same situation and similar transactions would not be asking for.
Okay. I mean, that's a good general statement. Now let's dig into that a little bit. Let's speak specifically about new development. Tell me about what you're finding with new development. I know we have a transaction and we're pretty aggressive. Speak a little bit about that.
The same sentiment. I think purchasers of new development are coming forward in droves now, especially because we've all seen the slowdown in the market with respect to new development, new condos, and specifically with the luxury market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of that, we have a little bit more favorability for the buyers in terms of contract negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
That just naturally leads to me as a buyer's attorney asking for more from the sponsor or the developer.
Well, let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I know we have a transaction we worked on. We were able to get, what did we get? We got mansion tax covered.
Tax.
What else? Transfer tax. Portion of the transfer tax. And was there something
parking
else?
Unit.
Parking.
The whole parking unit.
Right.
Yeah,
so, I mean, clearly that speaks to the level of negotiability the sponsors
Definitely.
are open to now.
Right. Because of the slowdown in this market, I've been asking for things like transfer taxes to be paid by the sponsor. Just as an aside, for people who don't know, traditionally, purchasers of new development are responsible for paying the transfer taxes,
Right.
And for a host of other closing costs that sellers normally
Lawyer
bear.
fees. Yeah.
Their lawyer fees, that's another $2,500 usually on top of the purchase price. Like I said, the transfer taxes and a lot of these new developments. There's a mansion tax of 1% of the purchase price that they have to be aware of.
Right.
So with a little bit more favorability in terms of the buyer's position right now, then we're getting less pushback if we ask for the sponsor to cover some of their transfer taxes, pay their attorney fees, and things of that sort.
Gotcha. Now, one thing, a general statement I want to get out there. I always mention this to a lot of the buyers that I work with. Two things I try to educate buyers that I work with. Number one, and oftentimes when it comes to me, it may be perceived like I'm just trying to sell something. So I want to have Tim here acknowledge this as being true and accurate. Submitting multiple offers, there's no obligation there. You can submit multiple offers simultaneously, and I always encourage buyers to do that for multiple reasons. Number one, it keeps you not necessarily obligated or emotionally tied to a property, and you kind of reverse the roles with sellers. It allows the buyer to take a little bit more advantage, and they have more options to choose from.
Right.
So, and as far as commitment with putting in offers, is there any type of legality issue there?
Right, so just for everyone to know, it's non-binding. Once you submit an offer, and even when it's accepted, it's still not binding. New York State requires real estate transactions to be memorialized in a contract, and that also secures your rights as a purchaser and as a seller. But submitting an offer, getting it accepted, even the seller's attorney sending your purchaser's attorney a draft contract and it being negotiated, and there's still no signed contract. So not until you have the contract deposit in the seller's attorney's escrow account and all parties have signed and dated it, it's not a contract.
Right. So there you go. Put the offers in. So hopefully you guys have learned a lot about where the market is, and for you prospective buyers, knowing what to negotiate for and how to do it aggressively. And then most importantly, you work with me and you work potentially with Tim, and we get the deal done. All right? So thanks so much, and we'll see you next Wednesday on our Wisdom Wednesday.